problem. So make sure that you're feeling comfortable. If you're choosing to be seated in cross-legged, make sure your hips are a little bit more elevated. This allows for more of an opening in the hips, creates a little bit more ease in the low back, prevents the rounding of the low back. So let's lift our shoulders up to the ears and then gently slide them down and back. Good. And then lift the crown of the head towards the sky. Allow your chin to draw slightly in so it's parallel to the floor. And then let the front of the ribs soften. Yeah, make sure they're not jetting out. Soften the ribs, gentle pulling of the navel towards the spine, and allow your eyes to close right now. And just let all your thoughts kind of rush through. And even though your eyes are closed, see if you can bring your awareness up to that center point between the eyebrows. The master energy center in your body. This gives you access to high intuition. It's said that the true self is seated in that point between the eyebrows. Not your conditioned self, but your true nature, the truth of who you are, which is a life journey really to uncover the truth of yourself. Now allow all your attention and your awareness to move into the direction of the breath. And visualize the breath rising up the central channel, which is your spine. And as it's rising up the spine, feel your whole body filling with prana, with life force. And we'll let it flow all the way up to that point between the eyebrows. This energy. And then as you exhale, feel the downward movement of this out breath. And really use your mind's eye to visualize the breath flowing up and down. It's okay if your mind keeps wandering. Every time that happens, draw your attention back to the movement and the flow of the breath, the rising and the falling. Feeling yourself dropping into class. Letting go of all the external noises. Begin to slow down the breath. See if you can breathe in for 4 to 5 counts. Hold the breath for 4 to 5 counts. And slowly exhale for 4 to 5 counts. When you get to the bottom of the exhale, see if you can hold that exhale retention. Beautiful. And again, deep breath in. Long inhale. Hold that energy at the third eye. Feel that expansion as you hold the in-breath. When you're ready, breathe out gently and slowly through your nose. When you get to the bottom of the exhale, stay in that exhale retention. So like you do that a few more rounds. This is just really helping to soothe the central nervous system, engages the parasympathetic nervous system. When you get to the bottom of the exhale, slowly let your arms float overhead as you inhale. Nice big sun breath as we stretch out our body here. Let the arms float overhead. Let the fingertips lightly touch. As you exhale, let the arms slowly sweep down. Keep your eyes closed. Just follow my words, my cues. Inhale, let the arms float overhead. Let them lightly touch overhead. And as you exhale, let the arms float back down. See if you can reach your arms even wider. Open your fingers. And just repeat that a few more times. Inhaling, let the arms rise. On your next breath in, as the arms float overhead, pause here. Feel the fingers lightly touching. As you exhale, I'd like you to twist towards the right from your navel, releasing the arms out towards the side. Reach into the front and the back arm reaches to the back. And then let that left hand come to your right hip. See if you can swim your right hand to your left hip. So if you're in a cross-legged position, then you can take that right hand to the floor. But just feel that nice twist here. Let your head turn. Maybe have the chin right in front of that shoulder. Again, slow yogic breaths in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold the exhale retention for 4. Slowly as you inhale, unwind the body. Let the arms float back overhead. Good. As you exhale, twisting to the left from your navel, let the right hand come to the left hip. And see if the left hand can swim over to your right hip, really rolling that left shoulder down and back. Let your gaze go back. Ideally, you like to get that chin right over that shoulder, but if there is some tension in the cervical spine, let the chin come just in front of that shoulder. Slowly unwind. Inhale, allow the arms to come back overhead. And good. As you exhale, bring the hands down towards your heart center. Let the head bow into the heart, and let's take a moment to allow an intention to arise. Not only for your practice, but I invite you to allow an intention to arise for your day. How will you show up today? Maybe you like to spread more loving kindness, compassion for self, more joy, more fun. Maybe practicing more gratitude, whatever arises from your heart space. Good. And then let that attention come into the earth. Place your hands to the ground, and we'll make our way in tabletop. So from the knees, of course, it's very easy to come forward. If you're in a cross-legged position, you can roll over to one side. Now bring your bricks to the front. I'm just going to ask everybody to check. There's someone that is not muted. I can hear you move in my ears. So if you could just double check, make sure it says that you're mute. That if it says, make sure you're muted. Yeah. All right. So hands are right under the shoulders, and we'll gently move our tailbone from side to side. Just loosening up that low back. It will come in what's called barrel rolls. So I'd like you to really drop your belly and just kind of collapse through your shoulders. That's okay. And then swing your hips towards the left, and now push the floor away. Pull the navel in, and now pull all the way center, and then roll over to the right side. So you're letting your spine kind of barrel roll through here. You can move your shoulders, your head. And it's just a really nice stretch for your low back. Maybe you feel it between your shoulder blades. And I invite you to keep your eyes closed, because then it becomes a experience rather than just kind of moving through it mindlessly. Really feel your body stretching as you move it. Wonderful. And then begin to go the other direction. Notice which direction comes a little bit more easy in the body. And just moving the energy in the spine. Now there's a lot of electricity around the spine, a lot of nerves. And they say that through yoga, we can supercharge our spine. And along the spine are those 5 energy centers known as chakras. And when they get more energy, they start to spin in a better way, which gives you more energy, makes you more balanced and whole. Good, and allow the body to come into center. Activate the hands. As you inhale, let your belly drop and let your heart shine forward. Stick your chin out, look up to your third eye. Feel the throat stretching. As you exhale, round the spine, pull the navel strongly in, let your chin drop, push the floor away with your hands. Inhale, drop the belly, let the heart come back through, look up. Exhale, rounding the spine. Beautiful. Now continue to go with your own pace here. Activating that spine. Beautiful. 3 more times. Now deep breath in, let the heart shine back through. We'll make our way into our first downward dog. As you exhale, begin to lift the knees. Press your hips towards the sky and begin to paddle out your feet here. And then just say no with your head and say yes. And then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just let your heels get really heavy. They don't need to make contact with the floor. If they do, that's fine, but it's not an end goal. Just feel the stretch in the back of the legs. If you feel like you're rounding your spine, soften your knees so your spine can remain in a neutral position. Good. Now as you inhale, let your gaze come forward, shifting into plank. Shoulders are right over the wrist. So sometimes you have to move your feet a little bit back. Good. Now keep the feet where they are and see if you can draw back to downward dog. That is your true downward dog. This is how far your feet should be away from your hands. Beautiful. And again, inhale, shifting forward to plank. Strong core. Protract those shoulder blades. Press the earth away. Long neck. Make sure it's not collapsing down. Good. Exhale, draw back to downward dog. And of course, you can always drop to your knees if it's just too much for your shoulders. Inhale, gliding back forward. Beautiful. This time, I'd like you to drop your left knee towards the earth. Good. Inhale, lift that left knee. Exhale, drop your right knee towards the earth. Inhale, lift that right knee. Exhale, left knee. Good. Now keep the left knee on the earth. Pick up your left foot and swing it over to the left side. Allow the right arm to open. And now we're in a side plank with the right foot on the ground. If you like to challenge yourself a little bit more, lift that leg up towards the sky. Beautiful. Really reach out of that bottom arm. Good. And as you exhale, allow the top arm to come down. And we're twisting from the navel. Yes, we're moving that torso in. And as you inhale, let the arm rise back, opening the chest. Good. Exhale, top arm comes in. Beautiful. 3 more times. Inhale, lift, open, and expand. Exhale, contract. Feel that navel dialing in. Exhale. Beautiful. Now inhale, lift and rise. Pause here. Sparkle those back right toes. Good. As you exhale, sweep the arm back and down. Let the right toes catch the floor, right into the earth. Step that left foot back to plank. 3 breaths here. This is going to generate some heat in our body. creating some enlivening energy through the back of the arms, the legs. Good, and as you exhale, let the left knee flow down again, lightly touch the ground. Good, inhale, pick up that left knee. Exhale, right knee. Inhale, lift that right knee. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, pick up that left knee. Good, exhale, right knee to the floor. Beautiful. Now pick up that right foot, bring it over to the right side. Open your left arm. So now I'm facing to my backside is facing you now. Good. So really feel your chest open. You can keep that left foot on the floor. If you like to challenge your core today, lift that left leg. Yeah, sparkle the left toes. Quad is really active. Inhale, expand your wings here. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale. 3 more. Now inhale, come back up, really fly your arms open like they're wings. Stay here for another breath. Pull your navel to spine so we're not hyperextending that lower back. Good, and as you exhale, sweep your left arm back. Let the left toes catch the earth. I'd like you to make your way back into that plank. 3 breaths here. This should be challenging. If it's not challenging, maybe your hips are up and back, right? So now you're unloading your core. Make sure everything is in a straight line. Press the heels back. Crown of the head reaches forward. 1 more breath. Beautiful. As you exhale, draw back, downward facing dog, pedal out the feet. Now let your gaze come forward to the hands. I'd like you to step your left foot through for runner's lunge and allow the right knee to come down to the ground. And as you inhale, allow the arms to float overhead here. Good. Really reaching through your fingers. Let your hips sink forward so that we're opening up that right psoas. Good. Now inhale, lift through the heart. Feel that expansion. Feel a nice stretch in your belly. Good. And as you exhale, interlace the first 3 fingers. Your index fingers are pressing together and your thumbs can cross each other. Good. And as you exhale, pull your navel to spine and arms come to the height of your shoulder. As you inhale, send your hips back forward. Now let the energy rise. Look up. A little bit of a back bend here. As you exhale, you pull your navel back in, arms come to shoulder height. Inhale, sink back forward. Let the energy rise. Really feel that stretch. As you exhale, contract through your belly, let the arms come through. Beautiful. 3 more times at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale. Now, last one. Inhale. Send your hips forward. Let the arms reach overhead. Staying in that Vira Mudra, Kali Mudra. This is a strong, fierce mudra. Creates a lot of heat, a lot of tapas energy in the body. Good. And as you exhale, release your hands. Frame the front foot. Draw back into half splits. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the leg here. Inhale, let the heart come forward, low lunge. Let the left leg come back into pointer. Sparkle your toes out. Good, and as you exhale, I'd like you to coil your belly in and pull your knee towards your nose. See if you can touch your knee with your nose. Inhale, send the light back, heart radiates forward. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. 3 more. Beautiful. Now inhale, sending that leg back. Pick up the right foot, swivel it over, coming back into that side plank. Lift and open. Then allow the top leg to come down. Press your left foot firmly into the earth. Pick up that bottom right leg and extend it into a reverse triangle. If that's too much, please keep your knee towards the earth. Beautiful. One more breath here. Good. As you exhale, send that arm back and down. Let the left hand come towards the earth. Feel that little twist here in your low back. Pick up your left heel, pull the right knee towards your chest and send it into a three-legged dog. Stay here, 3 breaths. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale out through the nose. Now inhale, shift forward to plank, floating that right leg. Good. Inhale, send that right leg back to three-legged dog. Press the earth away with your hands. Exhale, shifting forward into that plank. Once more, inhale, send that leg back. Good. And as you exhale, gaze forward, step that right foot in between your hands and allow the left knee to come towards the earth. Inhale, allow the arms to rise overhead. Send the hips forward. Feel that nice stretch now in the left hip. Good. And really lift the heart up. Look up towards the sky. You now interlace the first 3 fingers, coming into that Vira Mudra, Kali Mudra. Good. As you exhale, coil the belly in, stack your shoulders over the hips. Arms come to shoulder height. As you inhale, sink the hips, hands towards the belly. Let the arms reach up through the central channel to the sky. Exhale. Good. 3 more times. Good. Last one. Let the hips come forward. Lift your heart. Good. As you exhale, releasing the hands, framing the front foot. Draw back into that half splits. Let the heart melt forward and in. Relax your shoulders. Make sure this one is gentle. We're still warming up the body, different parts of our body. Sending the breath into the back of that right hamstring, the right knee. Inhale, begin to shift forward. Let the right leg sweep back into that pointer. Hands are right underneath the shoulders, sparkle your toes out. Good, and as you exhale, contract through your belly, nose to knee. Inhale, send that leg back, heart radiates forward. Exhale, contract. 3 more. Beautiful. Inhale, extend the leg. Good. Now see if you can pick up that bottom left foot. Lift and open the top arm. Good. Now let that top leg, that right leg, come to the floor. So your foot is flat. This allows you to extend your left leg underneath. If that's too much, drop your knee to the floor. Good. Really feel that strength here. Pull the navel, the spine. Make sure that left hip is not coming forward. Pull it back. Good. Exhale, top arm comes down. You should start to feel a little bit warmer now. Good. Now pick up your right heel. Yeah. So now you have strength to pull that left knee in and send it back into a 3-legged dog. Good. Hold there. Breathe. Sparkle those toes out. One more deep breath in. See if you can squeeze that left heel a little bit higher towards the sky. Good. On your next inhale, lift your gaze slightly. Come forward to plank. Let that left foot That left leg float. Make sure it's not up here. Let it drop so it's the height of your body. Makes it a little bit more challenging. Good. Exhale back to that three-legged dog. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, draw back. Once more. Inhale. Exhale, draw back. Beautiful. Now look forward. This time as you exhale, step the left foot in between your hands. Drop your hip. You can use bricks here. Shine your heart forward. Make sure that right hip is square to the floor. Heart radiates out. Back leg is strong. Again, deep breaths in and out. Feel the four corners of the front foot. If there's a tendency to roll in, or if you have flat feet, start to pull those toes up. This starts to create strength and actually allows you to create an arch in your foot. Good. And as you exhale, draw the energy back. Let's begin to straighten out that front leg. Let the belly drop. Again, use any support you need and let the head hang heavy. Sigh it out. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. On the next exhale, melting down into that runner's lunge. Now allow the hands to walk over to the right side. We're making our way into a wide-legged forward fold. Let your head drop down. Feel free to use bricks here. Some of you are very, very flexible and you don't need the help of the bricks. You can bring your forearms down as support or your hands, whatever is comfortable. Remember, this is your practice, not mine, not your neighbors, not your friends. This is yours. So really start to engage the inner thighs here by curling your toes up, pulling the inner arches up away from the floor. This engages the inner thighs as well as your quadriceps. Spin your tailbone more towards the ceiling. If this is not feeling good in your back, you can always keep a 90-degree angle. You'll still get the benefit of the stretch in the back of your leg. Do what's right for your body. We'll have 2 more breaths here. Wonderful. Now very slowly in your next inhale, begin to float your torso up. Hands can go on bricks or directly on the floor. Pull your navel in. Make sure you're not collapsing through your shoulders or your low back. Engage it. Protract those shoulder blades. Pull the navel in. Firmly press into the ground with the 4 corners of each foot. As you breathe out, soften that right knee. Feel those inner thighs. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, soften into that left knee. Good. Now, I'd just like you to go from side to side here. Just let yourself be a little bit more fluid. But just let your body sway here. Close your eyes and just let the spine move in a very fluid way, as if you're in the water and your spine is like seaweed, yielding to the forces of the water. A flexible spine means a person who is able to go with the flow, is very adaptable. And that's a beautiful trait to have, yes? That you can adapt to any environment and still be at peace. So that's often reflected in our spine. The more fluid the spine is, the more adaptable you are as a human being. Wonderful. Now slowly begin to walk your hands back to the front, turn and pivot. You can use your bricks, of course. Square your hips back to the front, feet are hip distance apart. And we'll step the right foot forward right now in forward fold here, Uttanasana. Feet can be hip distance apart. Soften your knees, let your head bow in. And again, you might feel some feedback in the back of the upper hamstrings, maybe behind your knee, but really let everything relax here. Maybe sway your torso. Good. And as you inhale, lift to a half lift. Pull the navel in. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, lift to a half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Pulling that navel in towards the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. And now we'll swan dive all the way to standing. So through half, lift, arms sweep out, press the earth away. Let the body rise tall. Good. As you exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. And feel yourself here in Tadasana, mountain pose. This is the pose from which all standing poses and balance poses arise from. So be like the mountain, strong, firm roots into the ground, so that you can lengthen up through the crown towards the sky. And this creates length, this creates expansion in mind, body. Beautiful. Let the hands release out to the side. Now just turn towards the front so you can follow me a little bit better here. So this is Tadasana, palms facing to the front, feet hip distance apart. We'll come into breath of joy to move some energy. So as we inhale, let the arms lift to shoulder height. Bend your knees, it gives you a little bit of a buoyancy here. Arms out to the side to shoulder height. Breathe once more in, arms all the way up. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you can come back to shoulder height. And then let it out with a big sigh, swing your arms and your body down. Yeah, so it goes inhale through the nose. And again. Three more. Now inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale, let the arms sweep back down. Notice. Eyes are closed and just feel. Feel the expanded energy within. Next breath in, allow the arms to float back overhead. Interlace the first three fingers, Vira Mudra. Good. As you exhale, take a seat into Utkatasana. So this is a challenging variation. If you're like, my back's not enjoying this, or my shoulders are not enjoying this, bring your hands to the heart here. No problem. If there's any achiness in that low back, thread the navel to spine. It's a very gentle tuck of the tailbone. Very gentle. Don't go too far under, because that's also creating pressure in the low back, in your sacrum. Good, so you choose your challenge here. We have 3 breaths here. Beautiful. Now slowly as you exhale, come back to standing and release the arms wide open. Breathe deeply. And again, inhale, let the arms rise overhead. Interlace the first 3 fingers. As you exhale, sink back into your chair pose. Pull that belly button in. Either hands overhead like myself, or keep them at your heart. Now adding a little challenge here. Lean into your left leg. See if you can pick up your right leg and place it behind your left knee. Strengthening that supporting left leg. Feel your balance. Stay engaged in that core. Good. Now slowly lift the right knee forward. Bring it to the ground. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. 3 more breaths here. Pull that belly button in. Be really mindful about the breath. This changes your entire yogic practice. Breathing deeply throughout it, not rushing it, mindful breathing. Good, hands can stay here. If you'd like to challenge yourself, bring those arms back overhead, moving into that right leg. Pick up the left knee and place that left knee behind your right knee. Good, feel that balance. Good, it's okay if you wobble. Notice how hard that supporting leg has to work, as well as your navel, stabilizing the body. One more breath. Good, as you exhale, draw that left knee forward, plant the foot to the earth, bring your hands back to your heart, sinking a little bit deeper. 3 more breaths here. Let's challenge those quadriceps, waking up the legs. One more breath. Good, on your next exhale, let your body fold, let your head hang heavy. You can shake out your legs here. Inhale, lift to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Now soften your knees, grab your bricks, step the left foot back to runner's lunge. Make sure you're on that railroad track. Drop your hips, shine your heart forward here. Back leg is strong. Good. Again, deep breaths in. Try not to breathe just to the upper ribs or the lower ribs even. See if you can breathe all the way into the bowl of the pelvis. Let your belly expand with the in-breath. Good, next exhale, draw your hips back. See if you can straighten the front leg out. Let the heart melt in. Now, some of you may be able to bring your hands to the floor and support yourself that way. If you're very tight in the back of that right leg, use bricks to support yourself here so you can bend that front a little bit more. For those who are extremely flexible, we have to be mindful about that hyperextension, you know, where we hang in that joint. That's called laziness. Yeah, you're taking advantage of your flexibility. Then the muscles get really lax and not strong. And there's no use being flexible and not having strength. So make sure you soften your knee. Use your quad to engage here. Good, next exhale, melt down to runner's lunge, walking the hands over to the left side. I'll be turning towards you, or away from you, sorry. Let your head hang heavy. Some of you may be able to bring the crown of your head to a brick or to the floor. And again, don't feel bad if you can't, because it's not about that. It's about you moving into deeper states. Yeah, pushing your edge a little bit further each time. By breathing deeply, by letting go. Your body is a sponge. Your body absorbs every experience, every thought. Every emotion is stored in your body. On a mental level, you're like, oh no, that's not true. But on a somatic level, we know that that is true. Good, a couple more breaths here, keeping those inner thighs engaged. If you have flat feet, make sure you pull your toes up, engaging those quadriceps, pull them up and away from your kneecaps. Wonderful. As you inhale, begin to float the torso up right now. A little bit of a change here. I'd like you to bring your heels slightly in, toes slightly out. Make sure your knees stay happy. Don't overturn the foot if the knee cannot sustain that. So make sure your knee stays over second or third toes. But feel the difference here. As you bend your left knee, notice how you can sink your hip down just a little bit more. Try to keep that left foot on the floor. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, soften into the other side. Try to keep that back leg, the leg that's straight, try to keep the foot flat on the ground. Good, inhale through center. Now I'd like you to bend that left knee, but lift your right toes. Now you can drop your hips a little bit more. Feel that stretch. You can bring the bricks closer. Good, now press up. Walk your bricks over to the right knee. Lift the left toes and see if you can drop your hips. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift, bending into that left knee. Now look towards the front. Walk your hands back, turn and pivot. Stepping the right leg back to plank. Good, pull that belly button in. I'd like you to drop both heels towards the left side, coming into a full plank. Unless you have shoulder issues, drop your bottom left knee to the floor. Otherwise, lift that right arm. Beautiful. And let's lift that top leg and stack it on top. This becomes even more challenging. Pull the navel in towards spine. Beautiful. Good. As you exhale, lift that top right leg. Take it wide again so that you can lift your heels up and come back into your plank. Good. 3 breaths here. If you need to drop your knees, that's okay. This is supposed to be challenging. Very slow flow today, but challenging because there's no speed, there's no momentum on our side. It is all muscle power and mind power. Good. Exhale, both heels to the right, sorry. And then see if you can stack that left foot on top. Lift your left arm. 3 breaths here. Beautiful. 1 more breath. You can do it. Now lift that top left leg, take it wide, spin your heels back up so you're back parallel to the ground, left hand back under your shoulder. 3 breaths here. It's okay to drop to your knees. Good, 1 more breath, you can do it. Fantastic. As you exhale, draw back to downward dog. Paddle out those feet. You should feel warm now. I'm feeling nice and warm. I hope you're feeling warm. It's so wonderful to move energy. Yeah, make sure you sigh it out. That's a really good way to release any stories. All those stories about who you think you are. All those stories you tell yourself about other people. Good. Now bring your feet together as you inhale. Let the left leg rise towards the sky. This time I'd like you to open your hip. Bend the knee, lean slightly towards the right side. You should feel a really nice stretch on the left side of your body from your armpit all the way into that hip bone. Good. Now as you exhale, square your hip. Pull the knee towards the heart. Maybe you can bring your nose towards your knee like we did on the knee earlier. Inhale, send that leg back, lift and open your hip again. Come into that 3-legged dog. And good, as you exhale, square your hip, pull that knee back in towards your chest, maybe nose to knee. 1 more time. Inhale, lift and open that hip. Exhale, contract, pulling that knee towards your nose. Good. Now, once you're here, look forward. Step that left foot in between your hands, rising all the way into your crescent lunge. Good. As you exhale, sink down. Back knee is off the floor unless you're feeling fatigued. Yeah, bring your knee to the ground. It's okay to be kind to yourself. But here's the thing. Like attracts like. Yeah. And I know full well that those people who are very good at being kind to themselves sometimes don't evolve because they're always doing the same thing. So for those who always take it easy, I encourage you now to pick it up a little bit. Go work a little harder. Those who always go hardcore, I know your challenge is to pull off and pull back. Be kinder, be softer. Let your practice evolve that way. Good. Now interlace the first 3 fingers. Send those arms back. See if you can get them behind your ears. Let the heart lift. Good. Now as you exhale, contract the belly in. Let the arms come forward. Good. As you inhale, sink a little deeper down. Bring the hands into the heart. And now shine it back up. A deep stretch here. As you exhale, hips pull back, shoulders stack over hips. Good. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. This should be challenging. Those hardcore workers, drop to your knees. It's okay to take it down a little bit. 1 more time. Beautiful. Now stay here with the navel pulled in, shoulders stacked over those hips. Bring your hands in towards your heart. Now I'd like you to lean slightly forward. Push off that back heel. Shift the weight forward. So if you were to look at yourself in the mirror, from the crown of your head to that back leg, you're one straight line. Yeah, so we're not here, one straight line, hands to the heart. You can stay here. You should feel the work deepen in that front leg. If you like to go deeper, extend the arms out in front. Beautiful. Keep pulling that navel in. Back leg is strong. Squeeze that back quadricep. Let that sweat drip off your forehead. Good. Now, so as you exhale, let the hands come down to the floor. Drop to your back right knee and come back into half splits. Let the head bow in. Breathing deeply. Beautiful. And as you inhale, shift forward. And I'd like you to tick-tock your front left foot a little bit wider. So maybe your pinky toe can come right to the edge of your mat. Both hands are on the inside of the foot, the left foot. Heart shines forward. So this is a lizard lunge, just opening that hip a little bit more. Heart shines forward. You have 2 breaths here. Make sure you still stay activated in your core that was kind of collapsed here. We're always engaged in every posture. Now, a very slight shift, keeping the left knee stacked over the ankle and over second and third toes. Watch out that the left knee doesn't start to collapse in, but walk your hands now away from that front knee and see if you can walk as far over to the right side as you can. This is a deep stretch. Good. Watch out that that front knee doesn't roll in. Keep it over second and third toes. Good. Now slowly walk your hands back. Wonderful. See if you can pick up the right foot again and bring it a little bit over to the right side. Your right hand is right under the shoulder. Now, I'd like you to grab, by lifting your left toes off the floor, grab the bottom of your left foot with your left hand. Now, pull the knee in towards the side of your body and open to the side here. Now, you don't have to extend that left leg, but if you like, extend that left leg here. If you don't have the space in the back of that left leg, soften your knee. But try to spin the chest open as well as your hip. Watch out, this doesn't happen. Yeah. Imagine pushing the floor away, driving that heel towards the sky. Good. Now slowly release that left leg. Toes catch the ground. Left hand to the floor. Make sure it's under your shoulder and come back into that plank. 3 breaths. Good. 2 more breaths. You can do it. Good. 1 more breath. Awesome. Now let your knees catch the floor. I'd like you to take a child's pose by opening your knees. Let your hips sink towards the heels, forehead down towards the ground. Let out a sigh. Make sure you sigh out. Breathe out all your worries. Breathing out all those thoughts that try to project into the future as you're trying to figure out what it will be like in the summer and the fall. Try not to even go there. Just be in this moment. Learn to stay present. Wonderful. Now very slowly coil the belly. I'd like you to walk your hands back towards your knees. Good. I'm coming up a little bit more towards the front of my mat to reach for my bricks, but I'd like you to come back into that hero pose if you can. So if your hips or your knees are a little bit on the tighter side, you can always bring the bricks up higher and sit on the edge of it. So we're coming into a Kriya. And a lot of you know this Kriya already. It's called Shiva Kriya. And it's a really good way to cut away all that which no longer serves us. And we're not just talking about, people right now in your life or, jobs that are toxic, but I'm also talking about deep ancestral patterns. Human nature is to have patterns, and we keep repeating the same patterns, and the patterns get passed on to our offspring. and then they repeat the pattern. So how can we evolve and help evolve our offspring, and also release our ancestors from this past pattern, is for you to cut free from it. And how can you cut free from it is by doing the Shiva Kriya. And it's just this deep breathing. You don't have to do anything consciously. You can, with the breath, purify it and transcend it. You don't have to go into the feeling of it. You just, it's like you're cleaning it with the brushes. So how do we do this Kriya breath? You bring your arms overhead, bend your elbows, open your fingers really wide. And you should feel like your fingers are so strong that you could pry them into the floor. Yes? And then bring your elbows toward each other. And now we're going to make Shiva's trident, which is a very symbolic symbol, right? So bring your pinky finger towards your thumb, and then the three fingers in the middle are the trident of Shiva, and they signify the three energies that are in creation of sattva, peace, right? And then rajas, which is transformation. It's the sun that rises and comes down. And then we have tamas, which is the nighttime. Rajas is the daytime. Sattva is to come into wholeness. By balancing rajas and tamas, we come into sattva. Yeah. So bring your elbows in. It's a double breath in through the nose, and you bring the hands towards you. Yeah. Like you're brushing in, and then you flick them away as you breathe out through your mouth. In towards you as you inhale, away from you as you exhale. So here we go. Double breath in. Nine more. Inhale. Hold the breath. Sigh it out. Close your eyes. Notice. Makes you feel extremely present, rising above all the patterns so you can undo them without suffering, without having to re-experience the suffering. That's the beauty of this Kriya. There's no need. Now, this is better than any psychologist, which makes you just turn up all the old stuff that doesn't need to be turned up. You can transcend it this way. Go take a deep inhale. Feel the energy rising all the way up to the crown of your head. Now, big sigh out. Like a dragon's breath. Yeah. Inhale again. Big sigh out. Oh, wonderful. Make your way back into your tabletop position. Move your bricks back towards the top of your mat. And feel the knees back underneath your hips, and just start to move your tailbone from side to side. Maybe your spine feels a lot more softer, more fluid. Yeah, another thing that yoga does, it allows you to be plugged into that which makes the sun rise and the sun set. Yeah, when you want to turn on an appliance, you have to plug it in to create it, give it a charge, to give it energy. So are those kriyas, and the breathing and the movement is the same thing for your whole body. Good. Now take a deep breath in. Let the heart shine forward. Lift your tailbone strongly. Lift your gaze. As you exhale, draw back into your downward facing dog. Let your head relax. Breathing deeply. And again, let those heels get really heavy, but they don't need to touch the floor. Please don't think that's what needs to happen here. If they come to the floor, that's just a natural byproduct of your practice. Yeah, as the body gets more open, more lengthy, then naturally the heels will start to gravitate more towards the earth. Beautiful. One more breath. And allow the big toes to touch. As you inhale, I'd like you to lift your right leg this time, the other leg. Open your hip here, bend the knee, and lean towards the left side. Just feel again that nice stretch all along the right side of your body, from your armpit towards your hip bone. Make sure your hands stay evenly rooted. Good. And as you exhale, begin to square your hip. Pull that navel strongly to spine. Protract those shoulder blades and pull the knee towards your nose if you can. Good. Inhale, send that leg back. Lift and open the hip. Lean towards the left side. Good. Exhale, contract. One more time. Inhale, send that leg back. Lift and open the hip. Good. As you exhale, contract through your belly. Now let your gaze come forward. Step that left foot in between, right foot in between your hands, and allow yourself to rise. I'm sorry. These ear pods are not made for my ears. Exhale, root down. They're way too big for my ears. Good. To feel that stretch. Now interlace again the first three fingers like we did on the knee. And again, remember, you can drop your knee. That's no problem. Good. Now as you exhale, contract through your belly. Let the arms come down to shoulder height. As you inhale, drop your hips more down. Pull the energy into your navel. Let the arms reach overhead. Stay deep in that lunge. As you exhale, contract. Inhale. Good. As you exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Stay here. Let the hands release. Release to your heart. Now lean forward. Almost forgot. The hardest part. Yeah, shoulders down and back. You should feel the front leg really being loaded here. If you're not, that means you're leaning too much forward with your chest. You need to be one straight line from the crown of your head through your spine, through your back leg. Back leg is strong. If you want to make it more challenging, let that arm reach overhead. Pull your belly button in. Keep squaring those hips. Maybe bend that front knee a little deeper. Good. 2 more breaths. You can do it. Beautiful. Bring your hands back to your heart, down to the earth, making your way back into that half splits. Exhale, little rebound here. Let the head bow in. Beautiful. Gently as you inhale, glide forward into that low lunge. I'd like you to take that front foot a little bit wider. So your pinky toe is at the edge of your mat. Hands are right on your shoulders. Heart comes to the front. Little lizard lunge here. Now, I'd like you to walk your hands away from the front. Watch out, though, that right knee doesn't start to travel with you. Keep it over the second and third toes and knee right over your ankle. So just start to walk your hands into the left front corner, maybe all the way to the left side, depending how open you are into that hip. Keep squeezing the knee out. This is a deep stretch. Breathe deeply through it. Beautiful. Slowly walk your hands back towards the front. Good. Now pick up the left foot. Let it come a little bit over to the left side. Take that left hand right on your shoulder. So usually I step it back up just a little bit. Lift your right foot. Take the right hand underneath. Pull the knee. Now open your body to the side. You're right here. You can stay here. Yeah, this is hard work. Or if you like to challenge, lift your heel. Maybe stay here. Maybe you're able to open up. Open your body. Good. This is a variation of side plank called Vashisthasana, after the sage Vashisthas. Vajista, his name was. He spent years in a cave meditating. Good. Now, slow as you exhale, let that leg float down. Curl the right toes under. Step back into your plank. 3 breaths here. You can do it. Stay strong. Stay with me. 1 more breath. You can do it. It's okay if you shake. It's okay if you get angry. Whatever emotion arises, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Great song. Good. Slow as you exhale, let your knees drop to the earth. Open your knees. Come back into your child's pose. Sigh it out. Let those hips get heavy. Beautiful. Now slowly from here, coil the belly in, walk your hands back in towards yourself. I'd like you to tuck your toes under and start to lift the knees off the floor. Move your body weight back by walking your hands back in here. Heels are together, and just let the heels get heavy here. Let your sit bones drop to the heels, but walk your arms out now in front and really let the head hang heavy here. Low yogic squat. Beautiful. Slowly from here, lift the head. Walk your hands back in. Good. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. And we're not coming into the full arm balance, just setting up our foundation here. So hands are shoulder width. Make sure that the middle finger lines up in the center of your shoulder. Now what I'd like you to do is push the floor away. Start to straighten the legs a little bit more out. Your hips are lifting. Good. Now coil the belly in so that you're fanning your shoulder blades. Chin drops in. Now push the knee to the back of your arms. Get them as high as you can. Good. Now I'd like you to lean a little bit forward. Feel that weight dropping on the back of your leg. Good. Hollow that belly. Lift 1 toe off the ground. Feel that pressure. You're like, ow, that hurts the back of my arm. Yes, it does a little bit maybe. Good. Drop that right foot and pick up that left foot. Push the floor away with your hands. Keep those elbows strong. Good. Exhale, drop that left foot and take a seat back onto your heels and turn one hand at a time just to stretch out that wrist. And then bring it back to the front. Let's do the other side, just turning that wrist. Good. We're going to try that one more time. This time, I'm going to invite you to float up if you can. If you're afraid, just make sure that there's nothing in front of you that you could, fall into. Maybe have a pillow in front in case your head falls forward. It's okay to fall forward. You can just kind of catch yourself on the crown of your head. It doesn't need to be a big thud at all if you stay really controlled. But take your hands shoulder width apart. And I'd like you to pull your navel in. Start to push the floor away. Your arms will lengthen. Let the legs lengthen. Good. Hollow your belly like an ice cream scoop. And now place the knees to the back of your arm. Now lift your heels of your hands. Walk your fingers about a couple of inches forward. So now you can lean in and your elbows can shift right over your wrist. And now see if you can just kind of float your heels up. Strong gaze through your third eye, down towards the earth. Increases your intuitive powers. It's okay if you come out of it, you take a break. I'd like you to try it on one more time. Squeeze your heels to your buttocks. Keep pulling your navel into your spine. Beautiful. Slowly let your knees come to the floor. Walk your hands back out in front. Let's shake out the left hand and the right hand. Why I like doing crow pose, it's really overcoming some patterns, yeah? Especially if you've been telling yourself a story that you're not strong, I'm not athletic, I suck at that. You know, those things that you tell yourself every day when you look in the mirror. We're all prone to it because we have been conditioned to believe certain things about ourselves, about others, about what is beautiful, what isn't beautiful. We have all been influenced by society's norm, including how we show up in life. So it's very powerful to undo those patterns in our life so that our true nature can shine forth, which is probably something you didn't even realize that you were capable of being, didn't even know you had it inside of you. And that's really the true gift of yoga. Good, now bring your legs over to one side, take a seat onto the floor, yay. Good, and just kind of rock your hips side to side and the flesh will kind of move away from the sit bones. Good, now I'd like you to really generously bend your knees here. This is not about the hamstrings right now. I'd like you to lift the arms overhead, creating an L shape with your spine here and your legs. Good, and as you exhale, the arms open, let your belly drop to your thighs, reach for your toes, your ankles, and really pull your heart forward. This is more about stretching the low back, not the hamstrings. So if you're over here, pull your knees up a little higher so that you can lengthen forward. Let the head relax, shoulders soften, let your neck relax. Do not bounce up and down. That puts the body in a response of protection. So it's futile to do that. Really just soften with the breath. Good, one more breath here. Slowly begin to lift the torso. Good, I'd like you to bend that right knee, pull it in, foot's to the floor, and see if you can lift your toes, lift and bring your hands underneath. Good, now lean a little bit back and see if you can lift your heel. Some of you have the ability to extend the leg fully. If you feel like you're being tucked under, hold on to your ankle, create like a little bit of a sling here with your hands, but make sure your heart lifts. Good, again, nice deep stretch in the back of that leg. Look beyond your big toe so the energy is elevated. Wonderful. As you exhale, soften the right knee. I'd like you to take it across your left leg. Keep your left leg straight. Lift tall. Let the left arm wrap around that right knee. I'd like you to pull that right knee in and up, and you should feel that right along the side here. Try to lift the crown of your head towards the sky. Let that right hand reach back behind you. Begin to dial the navel in now. Deep twist, looking back. Good, couple more breaths here. See if you can just go a little bit deeper with your exhale into that twist. It's really good for the adrenal glands. Good, now slowly begin to unwind your body. Let the right arm come to the inside of your right foot. Left arm reaches back and we open our twist. Let's come into a little fun little balance here. Again, you can go as far as you like, but I'd like you to look down to the floor. Take your left arm down. Let that forearm come down to the floor. Make sure your shoulder is right over the elbow joint. Now see if your right hand can reach to the outside of your left foot. Now lean back so you can lift that left leg, left leg off the floor. And now see if you can lean into your left forearm and then lift your hip. This is called baby grasshopper. If you're like, oh my God, I cannot do that, that's okay. You just keep that foot on the floor and you stay here. It's a deep stretch. Beautiful. Drop your hips back down, lift up through the body, uncross your legs. Good. And just gently rock your hips side to side. Let the arms float back overhead. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Exhale, come forward. So the second time around that we're doing this now, you might be able to go a little further over your legs. Let the head relax, breathing deeply. 2 more breaths here. Wonderful. Slowly inhale, begin to lift and float the torso up. Start to soften your left knee as we prepare to do that deeper hamstring stretch on this side. So if you can't reach the bottom of your foot, no problem. Hold on to your ankle or your calf and see if you can extend the leg as far as you can. It's okay to have it not fully straightened. As long as you're feeling feedback, that's wonderful. Lift the energy high. Look past your big toe. Breathing into the back of that left hamstring. These are the kidney meridians, the bladder meridians. Kidneys are the purifiers of our body. But on an emotional level, they govern joy on the high side. On the low side, it's guilt. So it's okay to feel joyous in this time, even when there's a lot of chaos in the world and turmoil. There's still a lot of joy. The earth is healing. People are healing. People need this pause so badly because we've really come to understand how out of balance we were living. That it became a normal, and that normal wasn't healthy. Good, and as you exhale, soften your knee. Take that left leg across the right. Good, sit nice and tall. Let the right arm come around that left knee. Pull that left knee up. Roll that shoulder down and back and feel that deep twist here. Give yourself permission to experience and feel the greatest joy. The joy of being in this body, this healthy, strong body. And the sacred guest of your body is your breath. Good, now slowly as you inhale, unwind the body. Take the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Open your torso to the right side. Nice open twist here. Make sure both sit bones stay on the floor. Sigh out, see if you can twist just a little bit deeper. If you like to come into that little fun arm balance, go ahead, look down to the floor. Take your right elbow down. Make sure the elbow is right over the shoulder or under the shoulder. Reach with your left hand to the right outside of the foot. Lift that right leg. Walk that left foot a little bit in so you have more power to push off. And then see if you can lift your body here. It's okay if you can't. You just stay down on the floor. You'll feel that nice deep stretch anyway. Good, slowly lower down to the ground. Release the foot. Bend both knees this time, and we'll come forward to the top of our mat. I encourage you to bring one brick to the side of you for our counter pose here. So walk your feet in towards you. Allow your chin to drop in and slowly roll your spine down towards the floor. Use your core that we activated throughout class. Good, and then bring your knees in towards your chest, gently rocking your body here from side to side. And we'll come into a beautiful twist here. So as you exhale, let both knees drop to the right side, stacking the left knee on top. Make sure that left shoulder blade remains on the floor. And let your head roll away to the left side. Let that right arm press into the outside of that left knee, deepening that twist. You may feel it pulling a little bit around the hip, the piriformis muscle, into the low back. Wonderful. Slowly let the head come center. Let your knees float up. Gently roll to your low back. Exhale, let both knees float to the other side. Stacking the top knee on the bottom knee. Use that arm to press down. On the opposite arm, your right arm, or if you're on the other side, it doesn't matter. Really reach it away from yourself. Let that shoulder blade get heavy. Head turns. 3 more breaths here. Beautiful. Slow as you inhale, let the head come center, floating the knee up. And the other knee. Good. As you exhale, let your feet find the earth. Reach for your brick. And I'd like you to lift your hips up and place the brick or a stack of books if you have it, or a pillow, underneath your sacrum. Make sure it lands so that it feels comfortable. If you feel a little bit jammed now in your upper shoulder blades there, walk them a little more up to the top of your mat to create length here. Good. Now, I'd like you to extend your right leg and see if you can reach behind your calf or behind your hamstring. And we're going a little bit deeper into that hamstring stretch here, pulling it in towards you. Now, because your hips are elevated, you can get that leg a lot closer, and you can get deeper into those difficult parts of the legs, right, which are the upper hamstrings. Maybe you can straighten the left leg out. It's kind of like just floating here. This is a deep stretch here. Flex your right foot if you can. I know that kind of feels more intense, but this would be a true translation of you actually standing on that leg. Good. Couple more breaths here. It's okay if your leg shakes. Mine is shaking too. I've been sitting so much. I've been walking a lot, and I've not been doing yoga as often, and I can really feel the difference. So it's okay if the leg is shaky. Good. Now slowly bend that left knee. Let the foot come down to the floor. Bend your right knee. Let it come down to the ground, and we'll switch sides. Extending that left leg. See if you can reach behind your calf, hamstring. Some of you can hold on to the bottom of your foot. And just take a moment to let your body settle here. As you exhale, just let that leg get heavy. Flex your foot. And then when you feel ready, straighten that right leg out. If that doesn't feel good, you can always keep that right leg on the floor. But just imagine that energy is flowing out both legs. Yeah, so it gives you really that expanded feeling through the back of the leg and through the front of that right leg. Good. 2 more breaths. It's okay if the leg is shaky. No problem. Just means you've got a really nice deep stretch going. Good. So to come out of it, bend your right leg first. Support by having the foot on the ground. Bend the left knee. And then I'd like you to bring the soles of your feet together. So we're in a bounding little pose with the hips elevated. This is a really deep hip stretch. Make sure that the brick is placed so that you're not hyperextending low back. And hands can rest on the navel center or on the inner thighs or open on the floor. And we'll stay here for about 4 to 5 breaths. keeping the navel slightly engaged so that we're not creating a hyperlordotic curve here in the low back, right? Neutral spine. Deep breaths all the way into the low belly. And this is a very rejuvenating pose, nourishing pose for the body. It's said that the prana now is circulating throughout the body and is not leaking down into the ground through each foot, because now the feet are connected. So it's like a circuit now of continuous prana moving and circulating throughout. Now, feel free, of course, to stay here longer, but if you feel like this is enough hip opening for you, you can allow the inner thighs to draw together. As we move into our final resting pose, lift your hips gently off the brick or whatever you're resting on and allow your spine to roll down. Send your legs out in front of you and let your palms face open so that your chest is relaxed. Allow your eyes to close, focusing again deeply to that center point between the eyebrows. Maybe you see colors. Maybe you see a little light at the center point of the eyebrows, and maybe purple, blue, red. I'd like to now invite you to start to notice the space beyond your physical body. Does that space feel different than the space that you feel on the inside of you, or is it similar? And that's the oneness that we start to experience in yoga, is that we realize that it's all an illusion, that we're separate, that we're all connected through energy, through breath. Now, very slowly, allow your awareness to gently return to the space you find yourself in. Become aware of any sounds in the room, any smells. Slowly bringing awareness to the breath, deepening that inhale and exhale once more. Maybe let out a big sigh on your next exhalation. And allow some gentle movement to return in the toes and the fingers. And allow the arms to drift overhead like a big yawn. Expand your whole body in all directions. Open your fingers, spread your toes, lift the back of the ribs away. And as you exhale, give yourself a well-deserved hug. Gently rocking your body from side to side. And then allow yourself to gently roll to one side into a fetal position. And I'd like you to stay here for a moment as I read to you this card that I drew for the class. You exist in time, but you belong to the timeless. And when you can truly realize this, then you are no longer seeking yourself in time. Then there is true experience of freedom, and the freedom from cause and effect, which is karma. So when you're ready, allow yourself to rise into a seated posture. Sitting tall, you can be seated the same way you began class or end like myself in sage pose or cross-legged position. Allow your eyes to close once more and just notice the subtlety of evolution that happened within and without by you just really having had a deep, intimate connection to your breath for these past 75, 80 minutes. When you can master your life force, your breath, you start to increase your clarity. You'll start to have more access to higher knowledge. And it's the lightning path to true self-realization. So let's bring our palms together at the heart. Allow your head to bow in as we take a moment for gratitude. Perhaps you feel deep gratitude for this time, even if it brings up challenges. It's within those challenges that we can grow and evolve the fastest. When the playground is closed of life, we are forced to be with all aspects of ourselves. We can't distract and avoid any longer. Perhaps we're all enjoying this time to have more meals together for those who are with family. For those who are alone, this is a deep initiation. To be all by yourself requires great courage. This is not easy for those who have no one with them, but there's such a gift of immense evolution. You will come out triumphant at the end, like a butterfly that spreads its beautiful wings after it's been in the cocoon for so many months. So with that, let's finish this practice with the sacred sound of Om. We'll first take an inhale, we'll sigh out, and then we'll inhale to chant. So deep breath in to sigh. Inhale to chant. Oh. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. The light in me bows and honors to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you